You should be more scared about the things that you will not accomplish because you were too scared of accomplishing them.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Keaton Hoskins!
Becoming a powerful human being is you must be delusional. There are so many people on this earth who will talk you out of your dreams, of your goals. They'll tell you you're crazy. So first you must become delusional, and then you must stop giving a shit what people think. Most of you set out goals to accomplish, and they become hard, and you get tired. You decide your dreams, your goals, they're not good enough. I'm too tired. I don't need to be resilient enough to accomplish the things I wish to seek. You've got to be brutally honest with yourself. Most of you aren't willing to look at yourself in the mirror and say where you're at this time. You feed yourself and everyone else full of bullshit, and you wonder, why am I not becoming who I want to become? The man you see on this stage is only here because of the time that he spent with his children. Now, lucky for me, I'm an expert in children. I have 5 daughters that are sitting here on the front row. Spend more time being present with children.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm great. Actually, we've been scheduling this podcast with your assistant from quite a while, and now we're here. So I'm very excited for this.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. So let me introduce myself first. So my name is Abhishek, and I'm from India. There shouldn't be a thing to introduce you because everyone knows you, Mr. Mercer, Mr. Keaton Hoskins.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Keaton Hoskins!
Becoming a powerful human being is you must be delusional.
Right. So how's life going, sir? How's life going?
Life is absolutely fabulous. It's chaotic and very busy, but I have way too much to be grateful for to not be grateful for everything I'm doing.
Totally. And that's how it should be. It should be busy. I mean, people crave for a busy life, and when they get busy, they say like, I want to be free or want to enjoy it or something like. But I think it should be busy.
I agree. That's the best place for a man to be, is busy.
Yeah, totally. So, like, I've got some questions ready for you on the side. Let's start with this one. So, you're living the life, man. You're living the life. You have a beautiful wife, beautiful daughters, nice cars, impressive guns, and everything. So, how did you started all this? What was the journey behind all this?
It's essentially started when I was 21 and my father passed away. He kind of instilled in us children that we needed to do 9-to-5 work and that we needed to do the safe route.
Yeah.
And after I watched him die at 47, I watched his company just kind of throw him away. And I realized that there's no such thing as a safe route. And I decided I wasn't ever going to work for somebody. I was never going to be in a place where I worked for somebody. In fact, I coined a phrase when I was really young, and it was, I would rather sink on my own ship than sail on somebody else's, because I don't want anybody else to have the say as for where I'm going.
Yep.
So from that time until now, I essentially became an entrepreneur. I've built 37 companies since then. And I have essentially lived the exact life that I want. The life I'm living right now is exactly the one that I want. I have opportunities often to speak on stages. And one of the first things I tell people is why they should listen to me. And it's really simple. I'm not the richest person in the world. I'm not the most successful person in the world, but I am part of a very rare type of human being.
Yeah.
And that human being is I am living the exact life
that you wanted.
That I wanted.
Yeah.
This life is exactly what I wanted to a T. This is what I want. Now, of course, I have other goals and aspirations, but that's part of the life that I want, is going after those goals and going after those aspirations. But man, to the children I have, to the wife I have, to the health that I have, to the money that I make, to the opportunities that I get, every aspect of my life is exactly the way I want it.
That is great. And that is how exactly it should be. That is exactly how it should be. And when people say they're not happy, but they're making a lot of money, I think they should look up to you.
Yeah. It's funny. I mentor a lot of people. I mentor people one-on-one often. And that ranges from millionaires to, I actually even have a billionaire that I mentor, who makes lots more money than I do. But
Yeah.
the reality is I'm not here to teach people just how to become rich.
Yeah.
I'm here to teach people how to have every single aspect of their life the exact way they want it, and to become the best version of themselves. And the greatest version of you and me is rich and happy and healthy and successful and doing everything that they want in this life.
Yeah.
And so even though those really rich people that reach out to me for help, it's because they're miserable everywhere else in their life except they've made a lot of money. And that's
Yeah,
not the way
totally.
life is supposed to be.
I mean, you
And
must
so
check every
ultimately,
box. You must check every box. Either it be health, wealth,
absolutely,
and fitness and everything.
absolutely. In fact, I live by 5 pillars that I teach. And you should check every one of these boxes. You should be physically healthy, mentally healthy, emotionally healthy, spiritually healthy, and financially healthy. If you can check those boxes and grow every day in all of those boxes, you will get exactly where you want to be in this life.
Totally, man. Totally. And it's pretty hard for people to accomplish all this. And you have done that. And that's a very great thing to do in this one
Yeah.
life. Also, like, tell me more about the Limitless Society. I want to know more about it.
So about 2 years ago, I start companies all the time. In fact, I'm launching a new company tomorrow.
That is
About
great.
2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to focus more on things that made me feel like I had purpose. And instead of launching a new company and making more money and doing whatever it was I was doing, I decided that I wanted to help build people and not just companies. So about 2 years ago, I put a post up on social media. I said, hey, I want to make some millionaires. I want to make 10 millionaires, and I want to teach them how to have the life they want. And I had thousands and thousands of messages from people ultimately saying, I want your help. And I realized there's a huge need for mentors and coaches to help people
Yeah,
see
totally.
the life they want and then go get the life they want. So I sat down on the couch with my wife and I said, I need to start a coaching group. And she said, well, what are you going to name it? And I thought for a while, and I went back to my core belief. And my core belief is that there is no limits except for which we give ourselves, or in
Yeah.
which we've been given from our parents as we were raised, right? When we're raised, when we're little kids, we're delusional and we have no limitations. That's why little
Yeah.
kids think they can do anything. But over time, with their parents and their peers and their teachers, they learn limitations. And the truth
Yeah.
is, there is no limitations. There's zero limitations. It's just what your mind can conceive. Once you believe it, then you can achieve it. And so I decided to start Limitless Society. And in Limitless Society, I teach every single week principles, mindsets, and habits that allow you to ultimately become the greatest version of yourself. And to this day, it's one of the fastest growing coaching groups in the world, where thousands of people are seeing their lives change just because they're tweaking small things all across the board. And it's what I love and it's what I enjoy. I still own 4 other companies, 5 tomorrow. And it's all I want to do. I want to help
That's
people
great.
become their greatest version. And that's what Limitless Society is.
That is great. Also, as you said many companies, dozens of companies. In fact, so what was your first business, your first venture?
One of my first businesses, I actually had this conversation a few days ago and I didn't realize. So I actually launched a business when I was 17. I was a really good football athlete, and I didn't even set up an LLC. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing, but I started training kids in sports. That was like my first company, but I never made an LLC out of it. So it's kind of like, what was your first? My first real company, LLC and everything, was when I was 22 years old. I started a personal training company and we called it MoFit, and it was mobile fitness. I would have trainers go to people's houses and train them in their house. And then from there, I launched a gym. And from there, I launched a dental office. I then launched a plastic surgery clinic. Then I launched a marketing company, launched an energy drink company, launched a supplement company, and it just kind of went from there. I've just been an entrepreneur since I was 17.
That is great. In fact, you mentioned that you opened a dental company, right?
Yeah,
We also did dental marketing for many dental clinics recently.
I did.
And We still
I
do.
did that. I did that too. It's funny that you say that. I had literally a marketing company just for dental offices.
Yeah, that is great. That is great. We also
Yeah.
did some dental tourism too, and that's quite a exciting market to be in.
It's a really fun market. I don't know where you live, but Utah and Arizona have tons of
Yeah,
dentists and dental offices.
yeah,
So we rocked it out here.
yeah. I mean, I've never walked there, like the people from Utah,
Uh-huh.
but I've spoken to many of them, and it's quite exciting, man. It's quite exciting.
It's crazy. You know,
Yeah,
it's funny. I probably have 20 to 30 dentists in Limitless Society that we help kind of get their businesses off the ground and really 10x their income.
that is great. Okay, now I've got some more questions, and one of them would be like, see, I understand the guns, I understand the house, I understand the cars. Where did candies come from, man?
Candies.
Yeah, I mean, I see you love candies. I've seen it in your
Oh,
vlogs. Yeah,
it's just it's just something that I enjoy, man. It's just something I love.
that's great.
It's funny. Sometimes people ask you why you do some of the stuff you do, and you're like, I don't know. I don't have a reason. I just love it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get that. That is great. Also, do you know who is Andrew Tate?
Yeah, I actually have a phone call with him next week.
Oh, that is great. And have you ever spoken to him in the past?
Yeah. I'm not supposed to be announcing it, but I'm going to be one of his really good friends is also one of my best friends, Justin Waller. I don't know if you're
Yeah,
familiar with
Justin.
Justin Waller.
No, I've talked to him.
Justin.
I've talked to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
Justin's actually coming to my house next week. We're going to be planning on building a truck and shipping it over to Romania to give to Andrew.
Now that is quite a big leap. Quite a big leap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to ask you, what is your opinion on Tate?
I think he's misunderstood, just like I think Trump is misunderstood. I think
Yeah, totally.
anybody in the public eye is misunderstood. The reason I feel that way is because I too am very, very misunderstood. I have a lot of haters, a lot of people who talk shit, a lot of people who want to break down whatever it is I'm doing. And the truth is that 99% of those people, if they actually got to know me, they wouldn't hate on me.
Yeah.
Because I have pure intentions, man. I really want to see people become successful and I want people to have the life that they deserve. I do that by showing them my life, and people think it's me boasting, and it's not. It's me showing people that someone like me, who's very inadequate, very small skills, very little talent, is able to have the life they want. So why can't they? And a lot of people take that the wrong way. And I think Andrew Tate is the same way. I think he's probably a really, really good dude. He may have some things that I disagree with, but I disagree with everybody on some level.
Yeah.
But I don't judge him, and I don't really have enough information on him to make a decision either way. But hopefully, through this new relationship, I'll find out who he is.
Soon you'll get to know. Soon you'll get to know.
Yeah, I'm very, very hard on the circle that I allow around me. I don't allow people around me who are negative, who talk shit, who aren't good people. I don't do that. I don't have liars. I don't have people in my life that bring me down. I only surround myself with people who are good, and hopefully Andrew Tate will be one of those people.
Totally, man. And the one thing which I agree with him like 1,000%, which is taking credibility for everything. Like he said that suppose you're going out for a photo shoot or a video shoot, and suddenly the rain start pouring. I mean, you should be considering it's your fault, because you could have checked the weather forecast. You could have talked with someone there, or you could have checked something before going there. So you should take 100% credibility on everything you do.
Truthfully, one of the principles that I teach is complete ownership. And that is you find out what you have control over and you become a savage in controlling it. And learn how to let go of the things you don't have control over, and stop allowing them to affect your mental state. Because if you don't have control, you have to learn to let go. And then you need to grasp the things that you have full control over and really control them.
Yeah, totally. Also, I have a quick rapid fire round for you, and you must answer it quickly, right? So should we start?
Let's do it.
Glock 17 or Glock 19?
I love both. I have both. I like the 17 handle just a little bit better.
Yeah, great. And Tommy or Uzi?
Ooh, I'm going to say Tommy, because I have a custom gold-plated Tommy gun with my family etched in it. And it's my favorite gun out of every gun I have. I've actually never shot it because it's such a family heirloom for me, but that would be my favorite gun.
Great. And trucks or sports cars?
Oof, I'm a truck guy. I was a diesel brother. We built trucks for a long time. I love trucks, but I do love sports cars too. I have a Lamborghini, I have a Raptor, I have an F450. I do love both, and it just depends on the day.
You also got a GTR recently, I saw on one of your vlogs, Mercedes GTR.
Yeah. Long time ago, I bought a Mercedes GTR, and that is a very fun car. It's small, but it's a fun car.
And Ferrari or McLaren?
I've never had a Ferrari, but I have driven one, and I think engineering-wise, the Ferrari is just
great. And mountain or beaches?
Mountain all day long. That's why I live on the mountain.
Yeah, that is great. And tell me more about your house, man. You've got a beautiful house, and what's the story behind it? How did you build it? Did you design the things yourself? And tell me more about it.
So ultimately, I lived up here in the neighborhood. For those of you who have seen my house, you can kind of see my house is on about 10 acres at the top of the mountain, or I should say the highest part of the mountain. I love waking up every morning and going to bed every night and overseeing the valley, because it allows me to stay in the right perspective. When I can see the whole valley, the perspective shift that I have is completely different. When I decided to build my house, all I could picture was a house on a mountain that oversaw a valley. So I actually designed my house. I put it all together, and then I gave it to an engineer, to actually an architect and engineer to make it work. But I designed it all. And if you come into my house, it's very, very commercial/industrial feeling. It's got a lot of steel, a lot of concrete. It's a very different looking house. But it's exactly the way that I wanted it. I put it in my mind about 5 years ago, and 2 years ago we built it.
You talk a lot about that. You thought about something and now it happens. So do you believe in the power of manifestation?
100%. I believe that whatever you put out into the universe and then you put energy into, you can create. It's one of the reasons why words are so powerful, and you should be very careful about what you say. I notice that people that are unhappy always have something negative to say, and those who are happy usually have something positive to say. Your reality is what you create. That's plain and simple. And what you create comes from your mind. And so when you decide that you want to do something, you must create it here, you must say it here, you must believe it, and then you can go in and achieve it. And manifestations is a real thing. I know, because that's how I have created every single aspect of my life.
I mean, Conor McGregor also says that if you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
But you must believe it. There's a lot of people who will say it, but they don't
believe in it.
They don't believe it. And if you don't believe it, you won't actually go through the hardship to achieve it. I'm very careful now about what I put on my vision board and what I manifest, because there are things in my life that I am just not ready to go and achieve. Some very, very big things. So I'm very careful about the vision board that I put together, because when I put it on the board, I accomplish it no matter how much work it takes.
Totally, man. And also, I'm a big fan of being delusional. Let's say I'm in a completely shattered room. The paint is chipping off. I'm with my co-founder, and I'm speaking about how to build a billion-dollar company, a private jet sale. I'm talking with some billion-dollar founders, but I'm in a shattered room. So I'm totally delusional on some things. But as I told you about manifestation, I believe in that stuff, and I know it will happen. It will take time, but it will happen. So what do you think about being delusional?
So I teach a very, very critical principle, and that is that every human being should become more delusional. One of the reasons I love children is because children are delusional. Very, very small children, if you listen to them, they're very delusional. My daughter, who's 2, is the most delusional person I know. And I'm very careful about what I say when I hear her delusions. I don't want to be the voice in her head that says you can't achieve that, or you can't have that, because that's what most people did to me when I was growing up. But I realized that it takes being delusional to get anywhere worth being. One of my
Yeah.
favorite things in the whole world is helicopters. It's my favorite thing. And
Yeah.
what's so crazy is that in the 1800s,
Yeah.
somebody was so delusional that they looked into the
Yeah.
sky and they saw the birds and they said, I want to fly with birds. And everyone around them thought they were delusional as
Yeah.
shit. But the truth is that today I at any time can walk out to my front yard, get in a helicopter and go fly with the birds, because that person was delusional enough to believe that we could fly with the birds. And now we do in helicopters and planes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of planes, but I'm not a big fan of helicopters. And I wanted to ask you about helicopters. Like,
Yeah.
have you seen the Apache helicopter?
I have. I've been in pretty much every helicopter you can think of, except for maybe one or two. I've been in all of them.
I mean, Apache is like the epitome of engineering, I think.
Yeah.
The Apache is the ultimate machine.
I agree. Here's the thing. One of the helis I love the most, we actually have a Black Hawk. And the Black Hawk is such an enjoyable machine. The ability that it has, as big as it is, it's an incredible machine. I thoroughly love the helicopter that I have, which is called an H-125. And it's essentially, I can throw my family in at any time.
Yeah.
Everybody fits. It has enough power to go anywhere we want to go, to climb up into the sky and do whatever we want to do. And the cool thing about helicopters is they're very, very safe. Most people don't know this, but when you learn to fly a helicopter, one of the first things they teach you is how to crash land when your helicopter power gives out. And what people think is when your helicopter power gives out, you just fall to the ground, and you don't.
Yeah.
Because of your propellers, what happens when you shut your power completely off, your helicopter literally just coasts to the ground and you learn how to land it. So it's a very safe machine. But the thing that I love about helicopters so much is you can land anywhere at any time, and you can get anywhere you need to be very quickly.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's the best part of owning a helicopter. And do you also have a plane? Do you have a plane?
I don't. I've been back and forth on getting a jet.
Yeah.
But I've realized that I'm not ready for that type of responsibility. So for now, I just charter. I charter a lot of jets at this moment. Maybe one day when I make a lot more money and I have a lot of disposable income, I'll probably have a $15 to $20 million jet. But until then, the responsibility is just too much for what I want. So I just charter.
And what is the maintenance like on a helicopter? I mean, I know the maintenance on a jet. I've spoken with people on a jet. So what is the maintenance like on a helicopter?
It's very similar. You have times on every component, and those components can only have so much time. You have to do regular maintenance. Regular maintenance is expensive. It's not cheap to own a helicopter, but there's a lot of moving pieces on a helicopter.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of maintenance to be done on them. And that's one of the things most people don't understand when you buy a jet or a helicopter. It's not the original price that's the hard part. It's the maintenance through the years that costs a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, the maintenance is the hard part.
One of the reasons it's hard for me to want to get a jet is because if it was just $3 to $5 million to buy a jet, I'd be done. But you're $3, $4, $5, $6 million for a jet, and then you're $1 million a year to maintenance that and use that, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah. No, I get that. Also, these days you can buy a Cessna, like a Cessna Mustang or something, for like 2 million or 2.5 million, but the maintenance on a $2 million jet costs like 800 grand or $1 million. So that doesn't make any sense.
No, that's why it's hard. People who have jets have a lot of disposable income.
Yeah, totally.
And it just makes sense for them to own the jet because it's a big write-off. But there's a lot of maintenance that most people don't realize, and that's why the cost is so much.
Yeah. And also, like, now we were talking about being delusional and like being that kind of psychic to think that it will happen. So I've got a crazy story. Like, I've got a friend of mine, and we were talking about like the Illuminati stuff and Rothschild and Rockefellers and everything. So like, he's small in age, so he was saying that I want to be bigger than them, and I was telling him that you can't be bigger than the Rothschild. Like, I mean, you get it, like, I mean, they own the world and everything. So he said something which just triggered my mind. So he told me that we can't be bigger than them on the earth. We can be bigger than them on the Mars if we reach first.
Yeah.
And
I,
I mean,
I don't,
that
I
is,
don't, I don't abide by any of that shit when people say stuff like
yeah,
that. I just go, okay, I'll take it as a challenge and I'll see you at the top.
yeah, totally. I mean, I see that kind of stuff and that makes me go crazy.
What do you currently do right now?
So currently I own a marketing company, which is CloudPlug. And
Uh-huh.
as I told you, we did dental marketing and all the stuff. Now we create personal brands. So we
Oh,
work with
that's
people.
awesome.
Yeah.
Where are you out of?
So we're out of India, Delhi, and soon I'll be shifting to Dubai.
Oh, okay. So you live in Delhi.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's really cool.
So currently the core offer which we have is we can get anyone 80 million views in 80 days, like organic views. And so soon, this is also not a thing to disclose, but we are in talking with some big political parties, and we are also like, I think we should be working with some political parties soon. And
That's awesome, man.
India is one of the biggest democracies, and I think some great things will happen because I've looked at the opportunities there, and I've seen something like Facebook ads library. Like everyone can see how much someone is spending, and
Yeah.
if you're a political leader or you're a political page and you are issuing some ads on political issues, you have to display the budget you're spending. So can
Yeah.
you guess the budget for like the Biden campaign the last month?
In a month?
Yeah, for Facebook ads
Uh,
only, for Facebook ads.
my guess would be 2 to 5 million.
$69 million, man.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that
That's
is crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
I would have thought it was like 25, 30 total. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have thought it was that much.
So it is insane. And this is only Facebook. You've got Google
Yeah.
left. You've got Google
Yeah.
Labs. And what they do is they take different people from their party and they like distribute the budget and they do marketing from each channel. So this is huge. So
Yeah, that's incredible, man. I hope you land those. It's going to be awesome for your company.
yeah. Thank you, man. But I don't want to land Biden as a client, for sure.
No, I wouldn't want to land him either.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that everybody you work with align with what you believe.
Yeah, and that would be Trump for sure.
That's
I
cool.
mean, I like Trump a lot. What do you think about Trump?
Same thing. I think he's really, really misunderstood. I've had lunch with him in the past. I've spent a little bit of time with him. I've become very good friends with his son, Donald Trump Jr. He was actually at my home about a month ago. I really, really like them. And to be totally honest, I don't think that there's a better candidate for a leader in America. Listen, I don't personally have anything against Biden. I just think he's inadequate at the job that he's doing because he doesn't have the ability to actually do it. I don't blame him. I don't have ill feelings for him. I just think he's somebody who essentially is not capable of doing the current job in which he's been asked to do, which is be the leader of a country of the free world. And he's
in
just
fact the most popular country. In fact, the most popular country.
Yeah. And I just think he's inadequate, period. I would really like to see presidents running that are 40, 50, 60 years old rather than presidents that are 80 or 90 years old that are out of touch. And I don't think Trump is out of touch, but I do think he's old. And I would love to see somebody younger step into that role to actually serve the country the right way, knowing in their age category how to do so. I don't like seeing old men run countries. I want to see people who are seasoned but who aren't so old they don't know where the fuck they're going, like Biden. I don't like seeing our leaders fall down the stairs and fall off the stage and get confused on stage. It makes us look weak as a country. And that's one of the reasons I have such a hard time with Biden. Again, I don't have any personal ill will towards him. I just don't think he's a good president.
No, I get you. I totally get you. I mean, sometime he falls off a bike, sometime he says shit, and I mean, he's totally off person, man. Totally off person.
Yeah, he honestly should have retired about 10 years ago, and he should just be enjoying his life somewhere and just taking his money and walking away. But as of for right now, for those who are running, the only person that's adequate enough to be the president would be President Trump, in my opinion.
No, I get you. And also, see, you've started many businesses, and business are chaotic, man. You have started many of them, and you know this better than me, better than anyone else. So, do you have a crazy business story, like where maybe you have gone bankrupt and you have you have reached the top, you then came to the ground, you then started from the bottom?
You know, it's funny. People always say that to get to the top, you have to fail and you have to have some big failures. And I would be full of shit if I told you I didn't have any failures.
Yeah.
But I've never truly failed in a business. Now, I've had businesses not take off. I've had businesses make very little money. I've had businesses have little success. But I've never been in a business that essentially has gone belly up or bankrupt or walked away where I had a huge loss. I've never had that in my life. I've been able to get in and out on businesses that either worked or didn't work. And when they didn't work, I just moved to the next one. It wasn't such a big failure that I had to lose employees and bankrupt the business. I've never had a loss so valuable in the loss that it affected me financially. But I've had plenty of businesses that didn't do as well as I had hoped that they would do. And so I haven't been successful in everything, but I haven't had a loss like that.
I get you. And do you think in today's days and age, you can start a business with zero money or very less money?
Yes. In fact, that's what I teach. I have a new entrepreneur blueprint program that I just launched about 2 months ago. And in that program, it's a year-long course, and I teach two really valuable principles. You can either buy a business or start a business. And you can do that with very, very, very little capital. And you can do that through structuring the deal, whether that's structuring how you start your payments, whether that's structuring how you buy the business. You've heard of homes and people who are selling homes that you can structure a finance deal through the seller, right? You can do the exact same thing with buying a business. And here's the craziest information. There's about 30 to 40 million businesses in the United States. 10,000 of those are retiring every single day. So if I could get out to those people and I could offer a structured deal to get them out of the business, still give them the income that they want, even if it's monthly, I can buy that business for very little to no capital down.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a great approach for in fact, learning about how to do a business by doing that.
And that's ultimately what I teach. How to buy or build a business, how to scale the business, and then how to sell the business. I've never had a huge exit in a business. I've made a lot of money through my businesses. I've never had a huge exit, but I have exited companies that have paid me fairly well. But that's the American dream, is to build something that's so sustainable, that has such good income, that someone's willing to come in and give you a 3 to 10x multiplier on that business and walk away with that cash and enjoy your life.
And what is one advice you would give to someone like a teenager who's starting a business now?
Number one advice I would tell a teenager who's starting a business is learn the art of selling. The number one piece to a business, the lifeblood of business, is sales. You do not have a business if you cannot sell the product or service. I don't give a shit how much work you put in on the back end, how good your logo looks, how good you think you're going to market, how good you think everything's going to roll. If you do not have sales, you have nothing. And I have kind of reverse engineered that in how I did my businesses. I found something I could sell and I sold it and I built a business around it. Most people spend so much time putting a business plan together, coming up with the logo, creating the LLC, putting together the infrastructure, building all this shit, and they don't worry about the number one thing, which is sales. Sales is the one piece to business that everything else is a tangent to. So if you are a 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kid and you want to start or buy a business, you should make sure that you are able to sell whatever the product or service is. That should be your main focus. One of the greatest pieces of advice is that Warren Buffett gave a young man who was asking, what's the one thing I could do to become better, period? Warren Buffett said it's communication and learning the skill of communication. If I can adequately communicate, I can adequately sell whatever it is I'm trying to sell. So for a younger generation, they should learn how to become a savage in communication and sales. That's the number one piece to any business. And if you can't sell, get the fuck out of the game.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to sell yourself, your vision, your company, your employees, all of those things. Everything is a game of selling. And that's the first thing you should become very, very adequate in.
I mean, life is sales too. Life is sales.
Everything sells.
And
everything.
I mean, Tate said it better. Like he told the story about when he bought the Bugatti, and he told how he sold the Bugatti person, because not everyone can buy a Bugatti. There are only 60 of those in the world. So he had to sell the person that if you give it to me rather than give it to a sheikh, I would be driving it. It would be free marketing and all those things. And he was selling the person instead of the person selling him. So everything is sales in life.
Everything. For like who you marry, you're selling them on you.
Yeah.
Who you teach, you're selling them that you're a teacher. You're selling them on a vision. Your employees, you're selling them on the company. The products you sell, everything is sales. So you should become a savage in your ability to communicate and sell.
Yeah. Totally, man. And also, so it was great talking to you. Now, this is the end of the podcast, and great person. Like you're a fantastic person to talk to.
Thank you.
And I hope we meet sometime soon when I'm in Dubai.
Hopefully. Absolutely. I'm planning on going to Dubai, I think, with Justin Waller here in the next 3 months. So hopefully that's the plan.
That's great. And also, if you can, and I mean, if you can, I mean, it's a request. If you can deliver one message to Tate of mine. So that is, see, I'm a big Tate fan, and I started watching him when he was on YouTube with 3,000 subscribers, and there were like 500 views and 3 comments on his videos and everything. So I started watching him back then, and how I related to him was I told some things about like people, or like I say something about depression, that it is not real. I told that to my friends, and when I saw Tate saying that, I thought like, no, I have someone who thinks like me and who behaves like me, who say things which I say. So if you can just deliver my message to Tate that I absolutely love him, and it would be a great honor for me to meet him, and it is one of my vision board checklist for this year.
I love it. I'll deliver the message, my man. You just keep manifesting that shit, and I promise you'll be in the rooms with him.
Totally.
I love it.
So,
well, dude, I appreciate you having me on the podcast.
No, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, and it was great honor talking to a man like you. Started 36 businesses, living the life and everything. So, I mean, people aspire to be like you, and you are there. So, that's a great thing. So,
thank you.
We are at the end, and let's say goodbye to each other. It was great, and may God bless you, and hope you have a great life. Hope you start new businesses. You reach your half century soon, and life is great, man. And hope we meet soon.
Thank you, my man. Excited to meet you.
Thank you for your time.
Brother. You bet, dude.
Bye-bye, brother.
See you, dude.